So what's the difference between these two pork shoulders? One of them was cooked on the Pit Barrel Classic, and the other one was cooked on a pellet grill. Can you tell which one's which? Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by. So today I'm going to cook almost two identical pork shoulders. I'm going to use the same binder for them. I'm going to use the same rub for them. The only difference, which cooker I'm cooking them on. The first one's going to be cooked on the Pit Barrel Classic drum smoker, and the other one's going to be cooked on a Camp Chef pellet grill. I'm going to cook them at the same time. I'm going to pull them after the bark sets. I'm going to wrap them up in foil, finish them in the oven, take them to about 205, 206 degrees internal temp, and we're going to pull them out, let them rest, and then dig into both and look at three things. How do they compare in bark? How do they compare in texture? And how do they compare in flavor? All right, here we go. Okay, so at this point we are about 4.5 hours in. The bark is set on both cooks. I'm gonna go and pull them, wrap them in foil, and I've got my oven preheated to 280, and that's where we're gonna finish them. And probably check the internal temp and take them to about 205 to 206 today. Okay, so this is smelling amazing. I don't know if you can tell yet. I know which one is which, of course, but just curious if y'all can see it. I'm gonna go ahead and just dig into these and just see how fall apart tender they are. Ooh. Hold on. I think I need to get some closer footage up here. Oh, hey. So let's come back over here. Right off the bat, can you tell the difference? If you look over here on this particular side, it is a little bit darker. I don't know if it's gonna show up on the camera, but this is out of the pit barrel. And so right off the bat, even through the first check-in and spritzing along the way, you can tell the pit barrel is definitely putting on a little bit of a deeper color on the outside of the pork shoulder. Whereas on the Camp Chef, on the pellet grill, it was a little bit lighter. It's a little bit more red. So number two, what I was going for was texture. I just wanted to see how they would both fare. The cuts seemed pretty identical when I pulled them out of the bag this morning. And so I wanted to know if I cook these up almost identically side by side, would one produce a more tender cook than the other? In this case, I have to say the pellet grill wins. It's so much juicier and everything is so much more fall apart, even though I temp them the same. Probe tenderness seemed to be pretty close. The pit barrel one, I think in the end of the day, it was a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, so it's a little tougher towards the middle, but the outer edges are pretty dang tender and very, very smoky. Oh yeah, all day, baby, all day. Okay, so number three is all about flavor. And the one I cooked in the past, actually on the pit barrel, I loved. But I gotta say, putting these two next to each other, I think the pellet grill wins. I mean, the cook overall, like I mentioned, the texture, the tenderness, all of that comes through on this one. There is a faint hint more of smokiness on the one that came out of the pit barrel, but a lot of it is, I think, the fact that you're sitting the pork shoulder on the grate right above the coals and the chunks of wood. And so those fat drippings drop right onto that fire and it kind of smokes right up again, and pardon my ghetto-ness, but it hot boxes, you know, the pork shoulder inside of that barrel. So you can taste that come through a little bit more. But overall, the combination of smoke, the tenderness, and maybe just because it's a smaller pork shoulder, so the rub is a little bit more evened out after I mix this all up. I'm gonna give this one to the pellet grill. All right, so as we come to the end of this video, what are some things we can take away from this? One, pellet grills can churn out some really good barbecue. Two, whether you're serving barbecue to someone on a pellet grill, a barrel, an offset, whatever it is, chances are if you're working that grill correctly, if you're working that pit correctly, it's gonna produce some pretty fine barbecue and you're gonna get some pretty good feedback on it. I'll tell you, friends, over the years, I've cooked on now Weber Smoky Mountains, the pit barrels, offsets, straight up propane gas, electric, whatever it is. And many times over now, I've had friends actually say to me, this is better than what I've had in restaurants. Now, granted, maybe some of those restaurants really sucked, but the point is you can produce some really good barbecue from home, and your ability to produce that good barbecue isn't restricted by the fact that, oh, I only have a propane grill, or I only have an electric grill, I only have an offset, I only have a pellet grill, or whatever it is. So anyways, friends, time to start packing this stuff up and sharing it with the neighbors. Thank you for watching this video. As always, if you can, please like the video, subscribe and support the channel if you can, and until next time, who's smoking?